Right. We have consolidated the way we build cars. If anybody remembers back in the day when you went to buy a car, and my most favorite one that I recall was, I believe it was either the Dodge Dart or the Plymouth Barracuda in 69 or 70, somewhere around there. You could get just about any engine, transmission, rear end combination in that car. You could get it with a 6-cylinder. You could get it with a Hemi.
Yep.
You could get it with a 3-speed, a 4-speed, an automatic, and axle ratios anywhere from like 270 up to 456 or something. And you could order the car. So consequently, every car rolling off the assembly line was not a carbon copy. Every car basically was different. And now, with the way certification goes and the way they safety features and costs and everything else, normally when you go to buy a car, and I'm sure a lot of people have realized this, you don't have many choices. You don't have many choices. I'm sorry, of engine transmission combinations. The only choices you have are interior colors or radio options or ejection seats or whatever you want to get there. And with some manufacturers, you don't even have that choice.
I want to get the ejection seat option for other people's cars. So if you see somebody driving poorly, hit that ejector button.
I never, that's a good one. Well, I have an idea, and I don't want to put it out there, but there's something else too that I'd like to see. But yeah, hit the button in the car, and without the roof detaching.
Right.
So they just. Excuse me. So when you press the button, all you see is a little bump in the roof line. Anyway, yeah. So that's one of the issues going out there, and the manufacturers are pretty good. Mark, did they ever solve the Takata airbag problem? I believe there's still cars running around with those out there.
I'm sure there probably is.
And for last I heard, Takata went out of business and probably reopened under another name. I mean, that's usually what they do to avoid lawsuits and everything else.
Isn't that Shrapnel Records?
Shrapnel Records?
Well,
okay.
All the shrapnel that was in there.
Yeah. And that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Maybe, 8 years? 10 years?
Yeah.
And I was talking to students the other day about this. No clue that they were, we had a couple of airbags lying around the shop that they shouldn't have been touching, and they were touching them. And I said, you guys got to be careful with these. Okay. And I had to explain static electricity, the whole bull. And then I said, and there's also cars out there. I said, take a look at the label on the back. And it was interesting because there was no manufacturer's label.
Right.
It was only safety issues and stuff. But they used to put the manufacturer's label on the airbags. And I remember doing a few at school that were Takata. And they were in the cars that we have, because our cars are basically donated by the manufacturers and will never see the road. But the point being that those bags, if they did go off with somebody in the car accidentally, could still get hurt.
Yeah.
And those things were, they were killing people. As Mark said, that when they blew off, pieces of metal would break off, pieces of plastic would break off and come flying at you like shrapnel. I know a number of people got killed with those, cutting arteries, cutting real bad lacerations and stuff. So, but I have not heard if they have finally gotten all of the cars that were built with those bags off the road and, properly disposed of. Not sure on that. I haven't heard from some other manufacturers. There have been some recalls, but it's usually minor stuff, not major stuff. But the American manufacturers, the only one I really haven't heard, I take that back, because Ford has had a bunch of recalls. GM has had a lot of recalls. And the best thing, I guess, would be National Highway Traffic Safety Board. You can go to the website and put your car information in, and it will tell you if there are any recalls on your car. If there's anything wrong, if there's something you may not have heard about, or they didn't, not all recalls are advertised unless it's a major issue. And sometimes you don't even know there might be something wrong with your vehicle, and you just keep driving it and driving it and driving it. So something happened here. There was a noise and now it just disappeared. It was in the headphones. Did you hear it? Nobody heard it?
No.
Yeah, there was something there and then it just gone. Just disappeared. So anyway, that's one of the things. The other thing that's interesting, and I think we had this call last week, and I was pretty happy that I was right on this. I think I explained it correctly. Someone was asking about, and I don't know if it was here in the studio. They were afraid to fly last week. Do you think it's safe to fly? Planes are going to be crashing into everything. There aren't going to be any controllers controlling the airplanes. This is stuff I was hearing from people. And I basically said that, no, that's not going to happen. If they don't have the controllers, they will just not allow the flights. And then within a couple of days, I started hearing about airlines canceling flights all over the place because there wasn't enough control in the airspace. But the interesting thing, and if anybody paid attention to it, it seems that the only airports that were affected by most of the airports that were affected by having controllers not show up for work or reduce staff were Democratic cities, major airports in Democratic cities, which is pretty nasty, but that's something that I heard on the radio a couple of days ago, and not a nice thing to be doing, especially to everybody across the country. I believe it's straightening out a little bit. It's getting a little better. Controllers are being called back. And now the airlines are struggling to get the controllers back to work and get airlines back up to speed with a lot of planes flying. So that's another issue that you've got going on. And we're coming up to probably the most traveled weekend or the most traveled holiday, I believe, in this country. Thanksgiving, millions and millions of people travel, and many of them by airplane. And there have already been delays at the airports for the last week or so, flights canceled, people not going anywhere. And so, excuse me, got a little frog in my throat. I think I'm tiny bit of a cold, but I'm not sure. So hopefully these problems will be alleviated by the time we get to next week, because I believe Tuesday it would be the start of the mass exodus of all the people trying to go somewhere. And not sure how that's going to play out.
It's over, isn't it? Are you telling me it's not over?
Here's what ended up happening. I believe temporary funding. It's temporary funding.
That's what it's been the last
30 years, 40 years. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. We've got a controller shortage as it is. It's an incredibly stressful job. One of the issues, and I don't know if anybody's ever thought about this, but you have people sitting behind a computer screen looking at a two-dimensional picture, but they have to, in their mind, convert it into a three-dimensional picture because they can see approximately where the planes are, and the information will tell them altitude. But they've got to put that altitude on, they got a map in front of them. They can see where the planes are physically in relation to that map, but the altitude they can't see. All they can see is a number on the screen at 5,000 feet, 8,000 feet, whatever it is. So they have to put all that into their brain and have that going on in their brain continuously while they're monitoring the screen. So not only do I have to know that this plane is 5 miles away from me, going in the same direction or whatever, but what's his altitude? He may be at the same altitude as me, or he could be 10,000 feet above me or 2,000 feet below me. You don't know. And these controllers have to work that continuously. Incredibly stressful job. The burnout on that job is amazing. And it's not easy to train people. The majority, well, it used to be, the majority of controllers came out of the military because the military trained them. And those guys were really good because they're working with not only in this country, but other countries, other airspace and stuff. And they were very well trained, but there aren't as many people in the military as it used to be. And they are not getting the people to man the control centers. And the other side of that, and this conversation came up a couple of days ago, airline pilots, the majority of airline pilots used to be out of the military. They would do their stint in the military, whatever it was, and then they'd go and be airline pilots. But that isn't happening anymore because there aren't as many in the military. Military is not as big as it used to be. So now we are getting people that are just going to school and getting out there and building their time by training, by flying for a regional airline, whatever it happens to be. And people say they just don't have the depth of knowledge or skill yet that somebody coming out of the military would have. So, there's a big difference there. And there was something I just read. I don't want to scare people, but they had somebody as a first officer on a plane that only had like about a total of 1,200, 1,400 hours or whatever it is. And I thought it was the airlines wouldn't hire you until you had minimum of 1,500, but maybe they're lowering the standards a little bit because they can't find people to fly.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about that, but flying is still probably one of the safest ways to get around. Deaths per millions of miles and all that stuff. Airline travel is probably the best way. I know they make it when there is an accident, they try to sensationalize it and draw the people to the television to watch the news and everything. Like that Korean crash, was it last week? No, the UPS plane that went down last week before, whatever it was. They made a big sensation out of it, which they should have because it's not normal for an engine to fall off on the runway as you're taking off, kind of thing.
No.
So I'm not sure what's going on there. 203-336-9756. If you've got a car problem, question, or concern, or just want to get in on the conversation.
If you're awake this early.
If you're awake this early, which, that's another issue here. Anyway.
You're talking about the crash with UPS or wherever it was?
Yeah, the Korean crash.
I guess the jet engine caught fire to the point where it fell off and they couldn't extinguish it.
I cannot. I have not read anything on it yet.
That's
because
what my buddy said.
Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not read anything on it. All I know is I didn't hear about a fire beforehand. What I did hear, and this is kind of sad, I think the plane had just come out of maintenance, which it's kind of interesting because there was just an article I read about maintenance, and it's very, I'm not sure the word for it, but not two-sided. With a general aviation aircraft or a big airline or whatever it is, aircraft have to be inspected. Most people know that most people know their cars have to be inspected in some states. New Hampshire is one of them. Every year, you got to go for a car inspection. And they do an inspection. They pull the wheels off, they check your brakes, they go right through the car. We used to have that in Connecticut. That went away
Yeah, a long time.
20 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know why they got rid of it in this state? I'm changing the subject a tiny
No.
bit. I don't know why they got rid of it either. I do know.
Probably budget cuts.
Yeah, but I do know driving now, I see a lot of cars that need inspections. Whether it's the bumper hanging off, flapping in the wind.
They made it easier to get your car registered and made it easier to get a license, and that's why the highways are such a mess.
That's true. You're correct. You are correct. But anyway, airlines have to get inspections, ABC inspections every so many hours. General aviation airplanes have to be inspected annually. And these inspections are not simple. In a GA small aircraft, you basically have to pull the plane apart. You have to take the seats out. You have to raise the floors. You have to open up the wings. You have to put it on jacks if you have retractable landing gear. And then you have to make sure everything works correctly. And if there are any problems, you fix them. Airlines, they have A, B, and C schedules. A is a minimal schedule. They go through the plane periodically. It's quite frequently. B is a more intense schedule. And the C schedule, I believe it is takes hours and hours, where the plane has to go in for probably a week, jack it up, go through it, and it's a major, major inspection. And I may have them backwards, but I'm pretty sure it's A, B, and C inspections. What they're finding is when these planes come out of inspection, within the first few hours is when you're going to have a problem, whether something was forgotten, whether a bolt was left out, something wasn't tightened correctly, who knows? But
where did that wrench go?
Where did that wrench go? Oh, that's a huge problem. And usually the accidents occur within the first few hours of maintenance. Airlines, they do have their issues, but in GA, it's a big problem. General aviation, it's a big problem. There was, in kind of a circle around here, there was an issue in World War II that was very interesting. And this all came about, and this is why I'm up on this right now. In World War II, the English were sending out B-24 bombers from Northern Ireland as submarine patrols. And they had about 40 aircraft, B-24s. But they had a problem that only half of those planes were available at any given time. So the other half was in maintenance, either with major or minor issues. And they were trying to figure out a way to get more of these planes in the air to look for submarines because of the blockade of England. And they did a whole complete study on it and found that some of the repairs were not the repairs, but they shouldn't have as many annual inspections or inspections, period, because right after the inspections, they saw the problems with engines going, some issue, an issue. And they did another study on this whole stuff about 20 years ago for general aviation aircraft, or just recently, I forget when it was. And they found the same thing. Planes that came out of annual inspections were more likely to have a mechanical problem, than a plane that hadn't gone into inspection. And then as the hours built, that problem, would reduce until maybe about 10 hours, 15 hours into that inspection, everything was straightened out. So when I heard that Korean UPS plane had just come out of inspection, that could have been a problem. Somebody screwed something up. And as Mark said, leaving wrenches and stuff in airplanes is a major, major problem. And I was at a Snap-on conference a number of years ago, and they had all their toolboxes set up. Hey, buy my toolbox, $20,000 toolbox kind of thing,
Oh, yeah.
empty. And they have a toolbox specifically for aviation, where if you're going to take a tool out of that box, you have to scan your card in. Then the box will unlock. And then when you take the tool out, every tool is tagged. The box knows that this tool is missing. So at the end of the day, a supervisor can just tap that box and see, hey, we're missing a tool. Then look at the records. Who was the last one to take this tool?
Yeah.
What plane did he work on?
Oh, yeah, that's the one that's headed to Florida.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or that's the UPS plane that just took off. Tried to. And then they can track that tool. That's how serious it is. I mean, there was an accident that occurred a number of years ago. And I know we're not cars here, but it's transportation. There was an accident that occurred a number of years ago. A few people died, major airline, where the technician forgot to just replace a washer. That was it. The washer, when he was doing the work, he took a shortcut, didn't do it the way it was supposed to be done, lost the washer, put the piece back together without the washer, and about 4 or 5 hours later, 7 hours, whatever it was, plane went down because the washer was there to hold something in place, didn't hold it in place, it slipped off, lost control of the airplane, and bang, you're dead. Yeah. So it's very, very tough on aircraft, this maintenance thing. And what they're trying to do now is make it less invasive so that we can do them. Maybe we don't need to do them every year. Maybe we can do little inspections periodically or something. And I don't know how that's going to work out. But now I can turn this around into the automobile world. With those inspections, these planes keep flying. We've got planes out there that are 30, 40 years old, 50 years old, even more, 60 years old, and they are still flying. And if you look at them, they're still good. I mean, they look beautiful. And part of this is because they are required to do this maintenance and keep them up. Now, what would happen if we had to do that on cars? If we were required that these cars had to be checked and serviced and maintained? I think some of the states that do this might have a lower accident rate due to malfunctions in automobiles. But I think overall it could be a safety feature. The problem would be that the states would turn it into a money feature. How much money can we get out of this? Yeah. And then you got the garages doing the inspections. You need this, you need that. And I hate to say it, but we've heard it on this show many times where someone is called up and say, what do you think? It's this and this. And then they said, no, that's not the problem. After I've spent with somebody last week, I spent $2,000, $3,000, and the car still isn't fixed. It's still doing what it was doing. So are those inspections right? Do we need to license mechanics? That's another thing.
I think so.
I don't know how it's got to work, but as you know, the price of getting an automobile serviced these days is insane. Yep. I heard something.
But that caller last week that put $2,000 into the car,
right?
The good shop owner or the dealership should never have charged him or let that car go because the initial complaint was not fixed.
Exactly.
You can charge them for other stuff if you find it, but don't let the car leave.
But okay, you were in the business, but don't you have to notify the customer before you make a change, before you do any work on it? Is it required?
Yes, it is. And a lot of times they do communicate. Well, we think it's this, or we think it's that, so they don't have a definitive diagnosis, but they say we found this bad, but they don't say we think it could cause that. They just stop. It's a similar part that could cause a similar symptom, and we found this wrong with it. So this is what we found. Then they go to the next step because that didn't solve it. Well, we found this too, and this could cause the problem. This is putting. It just comes from misdiagnosis,
right? And this is not putting you on the spot, but this is an interesting thing. I think we should mention. Are mechanics held accountable? I mean, in aviation, mechanics are held accountable. Right. You screw up and 10 people die. Not only are you not going to feel very well, But you're probably going to lose your license to work on airplanes. You have to be licensed. It's an incredibly rigorous 2 years of schooling, and then you're out there working for a while. It's tough. But do we do that with cars?
No.
Or could we do that with
We
cars?
should.
Okay, then how would you regulate? How would you do that? Then you would have to start to regulate mechanics. And that's something I don't think we regulate at all. I don't think there's any kind of government regulation, state regulation on a mechanic, on what you need to know or what you don't need to know.
Yeah.
No,
there's not.
So, yeah,
but that falls on the business to make sure that the employees they hire are doing the proper job and not just letting a vehicle go out the door. There should be checks and balances.
Yes, they're always, and some places have those. I mean, here's one for a dealership. I mean, you know this. When you finish working on a car, take it for a test drive and verify your repair.
Most places don't do that.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
The verification of that job was from the bay to the parking lot.
Yep.
The guy had a problem at 50 miles an hour. I don't think you did that in the parking lot.
Nope.
So where's your verification? And then the tech gets upset because the car came back. He's standing in front of the service manager trying to explain why he didn't verify that car. And the best part is, which usually happens, is you don't get paid the second time.
Right. But what they do is they take the car and instead of redoing what they did, so they, without getting paid, they find something else wrong with it.
Yes.
So they get paid again.
Right. And that is not fair. And now we're back to and I've been saying this since forever. We, as mechanics technicians, are considered crooks, thieves, scumbags. I mean, I got a whole bunch of words we could use here.
Oh, yeah.
And because it's in any business. I don't care what the business is. There are a few that shouldn't be doing the work they're doing. And they're still out there. And, causing, taking money from people that really shouldn't be taken, not doing the job correctly. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
I'm teaching brakes this semester. Okay. And we were talking about disc brakes last week and doing this, that, and the other thing. People don't get that you got to lubricate stuff. I just put the pads in.
Yeah.
Oh, I put the anti-squeak little plate in there. Did you grease every contact point? No. Then why do you think the customer came back complaining about squeaking brakes?
Oh, I know. At the parts store, I get.
You must see a lot of it.
I get tons of it, and not so much on the retail side, more on the garage side. I get brakes back all the time
because they squeak.
Because they squeak, and I look at the pads. There's no lubrication on it.
None whatsoever.
No lubrication anywhere on them.
Now, guys, when you buy brakes, just so you know, there's usually a little tube of grease in there.
It depends. If you buy the cheaper ones that don't come with the grease.
You're lucky it comes with brake lining. You're right. And
I know the shops that do it because the shops that usually don't have as many brake complaints are the ones I know buy the lubricant from me.
There you go. Yeah. So, they're...
I mean, there's a lot of brakes that get manufactured, and you do have problems. There's a percentage that
are just designed wrong.
Yeah, and they're going to make noise no matter what.
Yes, but
we're the only country that complains about brake noise.
You're right, but disc brakes, as I learned years and years and years and years ago, are inherently noisy.
Yeah,
I mean they're noisy. There's nothing there are things you can do about it, but bottom line, they are noisy brakes. And this is one I'm just going through, and this stuff. Energy, brake, heat dissipation. And I was trying to explain to the students why drum brakes are actually better as far as power required to stop a vehicle than a disc brake. And didn't get it. Oh, but everything's got disc brakes. Yeah, because take a guess. They're cheaper than drum brakes. It's a lot cheaper to put a disc brake on a car than a drum brake.
You don't have
Go ahead.
springs to deal with. You don't have, but the other issue is there's no adjustment on
Exactly.
the disc brakes.
Yep.
So
And-
it's more idiot proof than
Right.
drums.
I will agree with that. There's no doubt about it. But all I was trying to tell them is for a given amount of effort from your leg on the brake pedal, the drum brake is a better brake than a disc. That's all I was trying to explain. And it didn't penetrate too much because, and then, I don't know how to do drum brakes. I never saw them. I got a lot of these kids, 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. They never did a drum brake job. Cars don't come with it. Certain cars do, certain trucks do. But it's just, they don't get it. And is there a fix for this? I don't know. I mean, they do regulate garages, but they do not regulate technicians.
Right. Well, that's where it falls on the shop owner to regulate his own technicians or the service manager at the dealer and have a quality control person.
But but then they don't want to do that either because it costs them more money.
Right.
And that's another thing is with the airplanes, you have a technician, an A&P, an airframe and power plant guy that does that annual service, but you have to have someone with inspection authorization to sign it off.
Yep.
So now that's the second person that has to come in and do the annual, not do it, but now they have to come in and check your work to make sure you did it right.
But the thing people don't realize, and a lot of even shop owners don't realize it costs you more to fix it the second time than it does to do it right the first time.
Correct. Yes. And people don't understand that.
You're paying a tech to do the job over again, and you're not working on a new job that's generating income.
Correct.
So you're losing on two ends.
And you don't have to.
And if you push it off to the side because, well, I got a paying job and I can't work on this comeback, that's the opposite of what you should be doing. You should be doing that comeback first.
Right.
To
Yeah.
try and make your customer happy.
They just want to see the cash flowing in.
Yeah.
Just keep the cash flowing in. Now, this is not a fair question, I don't think. And I don't know if you can answer but do you see the differences in garages, good ones and bad ones?
Oh, yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
So you know who the good guys are and who the guys that screw up work a lot are.
Yep. By the amount of parts I get back.
Okay. All right. And do you find, I don't know.
And that's why if I could continue to keep getting certain parts back from certain places, I'll call them and say, listen, you've returned this part a couple of times already.
Really?
Try and look further. There's got to be something else that's causing it. Because,
Right.
They'll return a module and, 2 or 3 times. At that point, it's probably not a module.
Yeah. Right.
It's probably something that's causing the module to go bad.
One of the things that I learned in my wonderful career with automobiles, and this was with and you remember this, the IM 240 training. Look for the root cause.
Yep.
Why did that fail? Why did it break? Not, I got a code for a EGR valve, so I'm going to throw an EGR valve at it.
Yep.
Okay, that didn't work. What's the next thing I got to do? Without going through the steps to verify that it is the EGR valve.
Right. Well, that's why, auto parts stores will scan your car for free. But if you don't know what to fix, what good is getting that code? Makes 0 sense For you to walk out of an auto parts store with a free code read if you don't know how to fix your car.
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the other,
It's got a PO 420. Oh, I need a catalytic converter. Okay, put a catalytic converter in. Oh, I still got the PO 420
right.
after spending $1,500 on a catalytic converter.
Yep. Can I bring that back?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
And that's why we have a strict policy: no return on electrical parts. They're warrantyable if they go bad.
right. Yeah, but I didn't think anybody took back electrical parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some places used to, but I had a guy call me up yesterday. He wanted to buy. He's got an older car, and yeah, I need a price on a. Actually, no, he was in the store. I need a price on an alternator and starter. I said, "Why would you need both?" Well, I'm not sure what's causing the problem.
Oh, geez.
I said, "You do realize if you buy both of these, you own both of these. So it behooves you to spend $150 somewhere and go get it diagnosed."
Right. Yeah. That's an issue. And I can understand first. Oh, well, boy, here we go. I can understand for some cases a charge for a diagnostic fee charge, but I can't understand in other cases where the diagnostic just plug it in, pull it out, and it'll be $150
right
before we even touch the car. I don't get that, you know. I don't know if it's fair. It's all about the money, obviously, but I don't know if it's
well, that's
fair.
what dealerships automatically you sign the paperwork. It's going to be a $150 diagnostic fee.
Yep.
It doesn't even matter if it's under warranty. They still want you to
pay for the diagnostic fee.
Yeah.
And it's getting incredibly expensive to buy a car, to repair a car. I had heard something the other day, major brand, high-end brand, almost $300 that they charge somebody for a cabin air filter. Something's wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
You know, but we're high-end. We can get away with it because our customers have tons of money and they just don't mind putting it down kind of thing.
Yeah. What I used to do with diagnostics is I would tell people, I'm going to charge you a diagnostic fee. If you do the job, I will include that in the price of the repair.
There you go.
If you decide you don't want to fix, well, my time is valuable. I've given you the reason why your car isn't working. I deserve to get paid for that.
I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I don't know if there's a lot of shops that do that anymore.
I don't know.
You know, we just don't know out there of who's doing what, where, when, and how. And on that vein of repair, I was thinking about this through the week or last few weeks with, you know, when you had, and yes, things were a lot cheaper then, but when you went in for a tune-up, let's say in the 60s or the 70s, you know, you came out with a $75 bill and they replaced your points, condenser, distributor cap, rotor, spark plugs, and maybe you had to pay a little bit more for a set of wires or something.
Now it costs $75 just for the set of wires.
I was going to say, now it costs $125 just for them to look at the car to say, you need a tune-up.
Yep.
And, you know, I remember when spark plugs were like less than $1 a piece. And what are they now, Mark?
Oh, I just had some guy buy 6 plugs for his Acura MDX the other day. $32.95 a plug for laser iridiums.
$32 each. 200, almost $200 for 6 spark plugs.
Imagine what they cost for a Bugatti. 16 of them.
Well, it's that way with the some of the Rams that have the 2 plugs per cylinder.
Oh,
there you go. That's right.
But they're probably $30, not $150 each or whatever.
No, they're not quite that much, but they're still probably $18, $20 plugs.
Right. You know, and in some way, okay, let's say this, you know, the plugs were $1 a piece, but you had to replace them every 10,000 miles. So you did 100,000 miles, that's $10. So, you know, a new plug is $32 now, and that plug is going to go 100,000 miles.
Right.
Well, theoretically, it's going to go 100,000 miles. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but I'm finding that, the cost of parts, the cost of repairs are just incredible today. And I had mentioned earlier, it's great to go in, to have a car that reaches 150,000, 200,000 miles. It's great to have a car that you don't have to bring it in every month, but it seems when you have to bring it in, it's like, oh boy, we're in trouble, because it's not a $50 bill or a $100 bill. It's a $500 bill. It's a $1,000 bill, and it gets expensive. And this is another thing, and this has always bothered me. And I guess it's because either I'm not a fan of big business or I don't understand big business, but a manufacturer builds something and it's out there and they start having problems with it and they don't try to correct it. Yeah. And I'm thinking of cars like the Quad 4 with the head gasket problem. And there were others that just aren't coming right to my mind, but they just keep producing them with the same issue. Jeep with their oil cooler.
Yep.
That one blows me away. And you just told me about that a month ago. Like, I don't work on Jeeps.
Yeah.
A plastic oil cooler that fails at, you said 65 to 70,000 miles, it's going to be leaking.
Yep.
And the replacement is aluminum. That doesn't break and doesn't. So why don't they spend that extra $10 or $20 at the factory and put in something that's going to last?
Because then they don't get paid to fix it.
But you think, is there that mentality?
Sometimes, yeah.
Because I was not brought up like that.
Because the service departments make a lot of money for the dealerships.
Yes.
So if they can design it to get through the warranty period so they can get the car into the shop and charge people, that's their goal. To make the service department profitable.
But, okay. And this is interesting. I'm learning something here. But aren't the service departments profitable anyway? Number one.
They are, but if they can charge you for that oil cooler at, the part's like $300, say, and then you got to pull the whole intake off to change it. So it's probably a 6-hour job. So they're going to get paid the labor for that. Then you got to sell them an oil change on top of that, because you don't want to do it and not change your oil, because you're also changing the filter housing. So might as well change the oil at that point too. And so
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here they've made, if they did this under warranty, about the only thing they could charge you for is an oil change.
Right.
Whereas if it's out of warranty, then
they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Theoretically make a lot of money.
Yeah. So the parts are designed to make it through the warranty period and have the least amount of warranty work possible.
That's the way I've looked at it.
Yeah.
Basically, the car and there are excuse me, there are actually cars out there, and I've heard this from many people, and I'm one of the people that says it. Don't buy that car unless it's under warranty.
Right.
And if you do buy that car and it's under warranty, get rid of that car when the warranty expires.
Yep.
And there are certain brands, I was going to say marks, but certain brands out there that's the way you got to do it. Because once that thing is out of warranty and something breaks, your pocket is empty.
Yep. If you don't have a good extended warranty.
Right.
Then once it's out of factory warranty.
Yep. Now here's one.
If you like the car and something you want, and you don't drive a lot.
Right.
Lease it.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the lease, you don't have to worry about any warranty issues.
Right. But then you have no equity.
Right.
The thing, and I was just thinking this, back in the day, you could do an oil change for $10. 5 quarts of oil and a filter.
Yep.
And now an oil change seems to cost $100 without blinking an eye. And I know on some cars where the oil is $12, $14 a quart, you're looking at $100, $150 an oil change.
Yep.
So, it just gets crazy with gets crazy with these prices. And I was going to say, though, there was an issue with the Toyota V6, that 3-liter V6 years ago, where they had a head gasket problem and they were blowing the head gasket on number 6 cylinder out of warranty and everything else. First off, Toyota was covering it. And then they actually changed midstream and made improvements in the head gasket and bolts and everything and solved the problem.
Yep.
Where I have seen other manufacturers, we don't care because we don't have to. And I'm just going to keep building it because it would cost me X amount of dollars to change all the tooling to make the vehicle right.
We have a caller, Steve, on the line.
Okay, I think it's this one. Good
Hey,
morning.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling the CarBOB Show. What can we do for you?
I love you guys. I had a Dodge pickup for 20 years. I changed every freaking part on it. It was a Dakota 04. I now go with Camry, and I had a 13, and I got a 15 now, Camry SE. I think the difference is the way, like you said, you should use the aluminum oil cooler right off the bat. Toyota does the good parts right off the bat. That's my analogy. I'm an ex-Motorhead, Grand National, GTO, Corvette, but I'm older now. I go to the dealer. I don't care what it cost. It lasts so long when they fix it. And my friend is a dealer mechanic for Subaru. His quote is, "Don't be stupid. Bring it to the dealer. They know your car." And that's it.
Yeah, I'll go along with that, Steve. I will go along with that.
Everything I do, I bought a 15 Camry used a year ago with 58,000 miles. It's got 80,000 on it now, so I do 30,000 a year. In 10,000, I brought it to them. I'm a good customer. At 10 o'clock in the morning, they brought me in $1,500 worth of stuff. 100,000 mile service, trans flush plugs, belt, and brake fluid and water. And I said, "Dude, thank you. $1,500. It'll last 3 or 4 years."
There you go.
That's it. I'm a trucker, preventive maintenance, and that's the way to go. The guy goes, "I love you, dude. You don't."
Well, that's where people are, the dealer wants to keep their customer and satisfy their customer.
Yeah, I'm telling you, out here on Long Island, the Middle Island Toyota, the guy, he's like, "Where'd you go?" I go, "I gave my other Camry $260,000 to my kid, and I had to give it to my kid, and I bought another one." So I'm not going to bash Dodge because I love that gigantic V8 and all that stuff. But I just sold a 06 Charger I bought with 26,000 miles about 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Sold it 2 years later with like 5,000 miles on it. And when I bought it, the guy hands me a slip. "You got to get the airbag changed." And I bought it up at a little dealership on the side of the road. And I said, "How come you didn't do it?" He goes, "No, you got to do it." So I brought it to the dealer. My friend worked there, Chrysler in Port Jeff. And I changed the water, the trans fluid, and the rear end, $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that with the airbag?
Oh yeah, he changed it for free. But
Oh, okay.
the car was an 06 with 26,000, never driven in the rain. I said, "Dude, I don't know the history of the car. Change it all." You know what I mean? It's worth it.
Yeah. And that's a good move. And the car, and obviously it's working for you because you're getting 200,000 plus out of these cars.
Oh yeah. And you want to know something? I called the dealer about a little problem. I forget what it was offhand, but he goes, "Oh, you get another 100,000 out of that 260." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know," because I myself maintained it. I changed the oil in the beginning it was 10,000 because that's what they recommend. And Toyota does it for free at the beginning. So in case you sell the car, they got a decent car that's been changed, but or traded in. But I change it myself. It's pretty simple. And, I go to Walmart and buy, a big jug of oil, and I just do it myself. So, and I do it, so, and my dealer mechanic friend, the Subaru guy, goes, "Just keep changing the oil. Don't worry about nothing else." And the trans, they have a flush at Toyota. They flush it right out.
Yep.
And in the old days, like my GTOs and my Chevys, we would actually drill a hole in the converter and put a pipe fitting on there. But most don't come with, you change old 11 quarts back in the day, just 4 quarts, drop
Right,
the pan.
right.
So Toyota, 6-speed, 4-cylinder, 4-valve per cylinder. I'm a motorhead from a long time ago. I want to turn one of these engines around and put it in like a tea bucket or something.
There you go. Yeah,
well,
that'd be
like,
nice.
you know, everybody's LSing, but, you know, I'm like, whatever. And my dad, you know, believe it or not, born in 25, he fought in World War II. I said, Dad, I got bad news. I bought a Camry.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that.
Yep. So, and I'm 66. So,
Okay.
I love these Camrys, man. I love your show too.
Well, thank you,
I
sir.
don't think you go wrong with Camry. They use good stuff, and I bought it from another one in Huntington. The guy's got a facility. I had an issue getting the oil filter thing off the whole where the housing was so tight. I brought it in. I changed the oil in my driveway. I couldn't get it off. Busted my knuckles. I brought it in the next day with the filter. The guy brought it in 2 seconds. Empire in Huntington. He goes, "What was the problem?" I go, "Dude, I couldn't get it off." He goes, "Well, I got it off." I said, "Don't put it on so tight." My wrench says no impact. I go, "I bet you used an impact on this when you change the oil." So Middle Island, I had the same problem. I got my cheap AutoZone wrench stuck on the housing, and I was driving around with it. When I brought it in, the kid comes out from the back fixing the car. He goes, "Listen, man," he goes, "there's little fins on here. You got to line it up." I go, "With the other car, I didn't have a problem."
Right.
So he goes, "I'm giving you my filter wrench." So he gave me a better filter wrench for free. And he said, "If you're going to do your oil change yourself, use this one." So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He gave right off the Matco truck, you know.
Right.
I bought the $7 AutoZone one. You know, there are other ones.
Yeah, but usually if you're going to buy a tool, buy a good one.
Well, now I just tighten it myself, and I do it right in my driveway. So that's it. Maintenance is the main thing with these new ones.
Yes.
Fuel injection takes the fuel out of the crankcase. In the old days, the crankcase got gasoline from the crappy carburetor.
Right.
And my dealer mechanic friend, he's my age. He goes, "I don't even know how carburetors work."
Yeah, people don't. All right, Steve. Well, thank you for the info.
Okay.
And thank you for the call. Take care. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
You are listening to WPKN in Bridgeport, 89.5 FM, listener-supported community radio. You can also hear us streaming online 24/7 at WPKN.org. You are listening to the CarBOB Show. Bob Costanzo here with you, 8 to 10 every Saturday. Yes, sir?
Judith is on the line.
Oh, good morning, Judith. Thanks for calling CarBOB Show. What can we do for you?
I just was fascinated by the conversation that you've been having prior to that very cool guy who called who knows something about cars. And it just reminded me that there's a reason why businesses are behaving the way they're behaving. And it kind of goes back to when I was in college. And there was an attorney who was a passionate capitalist. And his name was Lewis Powell, and Nixon was president. And Powell wrote a manifesto, he called it a memorandum, that said basically, we are a capitalist nation. The only thing that matters is profits. Your customers don't matter. Your vendors don't matter. Your employees don't matter. If you're not making a profit, you're not a success. What surprises me about this species is we apparently have hit long past the point of diminishing returns, but we don't seem to be able to accept that maybe we've gone too far. And I think a lot of the reasons that we have problems running businesses and then trying to do business is because this mentality is just, it guides every decision. You said something yourselves a couple programs ago about and I can't even remember who the manufacturer was, that it was cheaper to settle the lawsuit than to
Ford. That was Ford and the Pinto.
Yeah, Lord have mercy. Yeah, so I think it's almost impossible to talk about cars and transportation because the gentleman who was just on the phone, I mean, that's the kind of guy my dad was.
Yeah.
You fix it yourself. I'm sitting in a computer on wheels and am terrified to touch anything because what if?
Right.
And that's, and that's me watching my dad do that. I get the basic mechanical, how things are put together, but it's this creating a dependent consumer who has to depend on the manufacturer for everything. It's just not helping anybody. But thank you again. I'm really glad you guys are on every Saturday. I'm going to go let some other folks
All right.
contribute.
Thank you
to
so much, Judith.
cars.
And you have a great day.
You as well. Take
All
care.
right. Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And, with that, and it's something I've been saying for a long time, capitalism, everybody loves capitalism until they're paying these ridiculous prices, and we're getting, and I hope I can say this, we're getting screwed by the companies. And it's not going to change. It's all about profit, and nobody cares about the little guy. Nobody cares about the regular person. It's these people at the top, and all they think about is money, 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 money. And it's driving us down a pretty interesting wormhole right about now.
And up next is Bob number one.
Bob number one.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for calling CarBOB Show.
Hey, good morning. I want to say go Judith. She's got the right idea.
I think so too.
We just have to get our minds wrapped around this. And I think differently, though. I have a car question, but the philosophy is great. But the land is where we get our money. And people haven't really figured that out yet. And so what we've done is we've turned the land into money. And now the money is destroying the land. So it's like this thing. We got to figure it out. We can do it. It's just going to take time. A lot of us are thinking about ideas to try to stop this destruction. I mean, there's not much left,
Yeah, that's a problem. And, it is with the CarBOB Show, but there's things I could say about that, but I'm going to let you finish, and I'm maybe going to come back to this when the caller's in. But
okay,
I agree with you.
Great. Here's my question. My question is, I got a truck. My neighbor's tree smashed my old truck, so I had to get a new truck. So I don't drive it much. It's a new F-150. Or it's new to me, 24, but I don't drive it much. So the dealership keeps hounding me to want to change the oil. And you and I, we talked about this before. There's additives in the oil that go bad.
Yep.
Without driving it. So I understand that. So I was trying to maybe change the oil every 8 or 9 months or something. I thought that was okay, but this guy last time was telling me 6 months or 6,000 miles. Is there?
Okay. You only drive how much?
I put about 2,500 miles on it in a year and a half.
No, that's not good. You should be changing. Here's what happens. The oil heats up, the oil cools down, it starts to absorb moisture. Condensation in the air, whatever, condensation on the block, moisture in the air. And then if you don't get the oil hot enough to boil that water off, that water stays there, and now you start to get corrosion on every part that it contacts. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes at highway speeds to get the oil hot enough. Oil usually runs around 180 to 200 degrees, and that's enough to boil off the water. If you don't get that moisture out of it, you are a real low time car like yours without changing the oil is probably worse than a high mileage car where the oil was changed when it was supposed to be.
Okay. Is it only oil? Is it only highway miles that'll heat the oil up?
Oh, no. If you're doing city miles, it's probably going to take longer.
Okay.
But you got to put a kind of load. Watch your temp. Do you have a temperature gauge?
It's got one of those little, it's not an actual gauge. It's just got the little picture of an oil can, that's all.
Oh, you don't have an oil. I'm sorry. Coolant temperature. You have a coolant temperature gauge.
Probably if I went into this little computer thing, it would probably tell me actually. I could probably
I would say if you were city driving, sometimes your engine may never heat up completely if you're only doing 20, 30 miles an hour.
Well, no, I definitely try to make sure it gets heated up now and then. I definitely do that because even oil gets in the exhaust from my experience and it rots everything out. Water.
Yeah, but this is what happens with the oil. And also, I always thought you were going to talk about long-term, but there is a lifespan actually on oil and additives, at least in the aviation world. If you have a can of unopened oil that's more than 7 years old, throw it out. because the
okay.
additives will start to break down even without being in the car. The
Okay.
additives will start to break down just in the can or the bottle.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Thanks. And I love the philosophy. I can't wait to hear more of that. But
Okay.
because it's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. You have a great day.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Up next is Boat Bob.
Hey, we meet again at last for the first time.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good morning. First time. Yeah. Long time listener, first time caller.
You got it. What's going on?
I got some. I think it's called a Toyota. I don't know. I've never seen one. I don't know if you guys ever seen one before.
No, I heard that's a new thing coming out to this country very soon.
Yeah.
It's going to be,
And,
what would it be? The Toyota Pet? Was that the first one in this
Yes,
country?
yes. Yeah, that's the one. Yep, it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Half dog, half cat, part guinea pig.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard Doug used to have one back in the 60s.
Yeah, that's right after he sold his horse.
He never sold that.
Oh, I didn't
Glue
know
out of
that.
it. Glue.
Hey, and seeing we're talking about horses and glue. This is something a German person told me, and I'm pretty sure it's true, but I'm not 100% true. In Young Frankenstein, when what's her name, Frau whatever would say, Frau Bueller, I think it was, or something like that, and then the horse would whinny in the background. Do you remember that? Well, the word she was saying, I was told, was basically glue factory.
Oh, okay.
So every time she said it, the horse thought he was going to the glue factory and would start to win.
Well, that's what Wilbur used to tell Mr. Ed all the time, right?
That's right. Anyway, what can we do for you, sir?
Hey, listen, it's been a while and I haven't gotten to call in. I kept missing you guys. Because there was a while back, someone was talking about the outgassing in their cars and all the smells and everything else.
From the interior.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have that film on the inside of your windshield and you're saying to yourself, where the heck is that coming from? That's from the outgassing of all the interior materials, all the plastics and cloth and stuff.
Yes. So if you have a little bit of an older vehicle, wouldn't that outgas have surpassed its?
It seems to happen continuously.
Right. I found an interesting cabin air filter that I put in my RAV4. It's actually a HEPA filter with a bunch of charged carbon.
Oh, activated charcoal.
With it.
Activated charcoal. Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little more money. I put it in there, and the airflow is a little less, but immediately it smelled better.
Oh, interesting. Do you have those, Mark? Do you have those?
Yeah, certain brands will have the carbon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Try one for my truck.
I thought it was pretty cool. And just the fun driving to Norwalk every day and home.
Not every manufacturer specifies that, but for Toyota, they do make a charcoal filter.
Right. I found one on that Amazon site, and it the review said it lowered how hard your fan will blow through it, but everyone was saying it immediately smelled better. So I tried one and I immediately noticed, the lack in air pressure coming out, but it smelled a lot better.
Interesting. You have a question?
Yeah.
A lot of the Amazon reviews I don't believe, but
no, I don't either. I go right to the last one from a different country and read that one first.
Yeah.
There you go.
Actually, I have.
Yeah, I don't believe them either. I don't either.
One of the techs that works at one of the dealerships that I work for, he buys this new car smell stuff.
Hello.
Yes.
And he sprays it on the cabin filters.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Is Doug here?
Doug?
No, Doug is
here. Doug is here. That was him. He signed in.
Oh, so I can get him here?
Excellent. All right. Good morning, Doug.
You can do what?
Doug, are you here?
He's on the phone.
am.
He's on the phone.
Oh, let me get him on here.
He's
Doug. Hello, Doug.
Hey, how are you?
We're good. Oh, I've got you. I'm trying to get you on Teams, Doug.
Oh, he's trying to Teams you too.
Land your spaceship, Doug. I hear it beeping. Backing up.
It's the mothership coming to get all the politicians, hopefully.
Yeah, well, they're in the right spot down in Virginia. But anyway, Bob, you call when I talked to you last week. You had an issue with the Toyota.
No, I when I talked to you last week, I was just doing the service, oil filter, that kind of stuff.
I know it's even more important.
No problem.
I know it's even more important than the cars.
Absolutely.
They are coming to Mohegan Sun.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
I heard
the tickets are crazy.
I
money.
heard $700-800 a ticket.
Yep.
You know what? That's for someone else.
That's exactly what I said. Now they're playing at the Garden, and the tickets were only $250.
Yeah,
if you got them soon enough.
Yeah, if you got them soon enough.
I saw him like 5 or 6 times, so it's for someone else.
See, I never saw him because I was not a big fan of Neil Peart for some reason.
He's too good for you.
No, he wasn't. You know what?
You reached the age of reason and changed his mind.
Well, drummers are saying that he wasn't really that great a drummer.
Well, he didn't improvise really. He just played it.
He played the same thing every single time,
which is cool.
But I want to, now that they got this new girl drummer, I really want to see her because I've read some really good reviews on this girl, that she's like an amazing drummer.
She sure is.
Yeah,
she sure is. You watch anything she did with Jeff Beck when they were on tour together.
Okay.
Really
I've seen some of those. Yeah.
Yep. So that I would go to see them at this point if we can get some tickets. We're working on it, but not $700-800.
I bet.
I know, man.
I bet you they end up doing new material with her, and then they'll tour again, and then the price will be more reasonable.
Oh, for sure. You think so?
Yeah.
Because they'll make money in the album.
Or the first show, Getty won't be able to sing at all, and they'll cancel them all.
Well, isn't that every time?
She'll have to sing too.
They'll have AI singing for him.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yep. All done with packing up the boats or what?
Oh no, we're still going through it. They just moved a rather large boat into our showroom for heated storage, and it's a custom built, custom painted boat. The lady wanted it painted a certain color, and the manufacturer advised her that if you paint the boat this color, we will not take it in on trade. We will not sell it for you.
Whoa.
And despite all those warnings, ahead and got the $3 million purchase done. And how would you like to change the spark plugs on that for V12, 450 horsepower, supercharged?
No, thanks. No, thanks.
No.
4 V12?
And they're probably $30 a piece for plugs.
Wow. Well, yeah, Mark just said he sold plugs $32 a piece. I think they were.
Yeah.
$32.
So these marine plugs are probably double that, right?
And that's because they say marine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why we don't have a boat, Bob.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it. But okay.
But anyway, it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
See you now. I got you on the giant TV in here.
Oh, hello.
It's a little scary, but
yeah, it is. I'm afraid of myself. Oh my God.
Wave, Bob. Hey, I'm waving back at you.
You got it.
All right.
All right.
Hey, stay
so
strong.
hopefully we're going to try to do this, again, on a weekly. We're working on trying to develop a podcast. So,
right.
And we're trying to figure out actually how to get phone calls and how to get the information out to people that we're going to be doing the podcast. So we're working on that. I don't know how long it's going to take, but Dean's in a hurry. So we got to get it done very soon.
Sooner the better.
There we go.
And as far as contact info between you and me, I don't seem to have the right digits anymore. So
for mine?
Yeah, you or Mark.
I've still got yours. I'll send you a text or a phone call this afternoon.
All right, cool.
You got it.
And a message to everyone out there that cares. It's just 3 more years, okay? Just 3 more years.
You got it.
All right, guys.
Hey, you have a good one.
Later. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Do we have another one, sir?
Just Doug.
Okay. Good morning, Doug.
Thanks for calling the CarBOB Show.
Thanks for calling the CarBOB Show. What can we do for you?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I'd
finally wake up
and see how things. Yeah. Well, yeah, I did. It was a bit of a difficulty here on this end.
Okay. Yeah. This is the 8 o'clock really isn't good. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of it.
Yep. Well, the call, nobody's listening until 9, and that's the problem. We didn't get a single call, I don't think, before 9 o'clock.
Nope.
Because I don't think anybody knows we're out there. One of the things I was going to say, and it was a gentleman, Bob, not Boat Bob, but the guy before him was saying about, I'm not sure exactly how he said it, but things are crappy and everything's not nice out there, and we're destroying the land, and we're doing this and we're doing that. And lately, maybe because I'm getting old, I look out there a lot of times driving and try to picture what this must have looked like 200 years ago,
Yeah.
with none of these lunatics driving. I mean, unless they got on their horse and carriage and went nuts.
Mhm.
But it must have been absolutely freaking gorgeous. And we have managed to destroy this. And this leads me to the next step, because you got these clowns like Zuckerberg and Bezos and the other moron from the West Coast, all trying to get to Mars.
Yeah.
What do you want to screw up that planet too?
There's resources we need over here.
Yeah, we can't. We had. Well, that's the problem. We've drained every resource we've got. We've practically fished out the oceans. We've practically destroyed land from everything else.
Why do you think we're where we are right now?
I know.
Because they found stuff they want.
Why? Because as Judah said, this guy says profit before anything. And I remember that Powell, I think she said it was, that's not good. It's ungood, as they say. I know that's not a word. I had a professor that used to say that all the time. You know, that's ungood. But that's not a word. Yeah, I know. Okay. Anyway, 203-336-9756. CarBOB Show, WPKN. Bob Costanzo, Mark Mushin, Dean Farrow, and Diesel Doug Eccles. Okay.
One of the things last week we had a call from that woman in Long Island, I believe it was, looking for information on electric vehicles possibility. And we mentioned about Toyota and they're all electric, being developed and all. And it is now being sold in America. It's the BZ.
Yeah, I saw that text from you this morning. Yeah, I have not seen one yet. I don't know. Here's the thing, Doug, and this was really getting to me yesterday, and this is going to be a roundabout stupid thing, I think. I was driving last night, Zamboni, and we had a charger because we have two electric Zambonis. And I plug in the charger, and I'm looking at it, and we're at 80% charge, and it's going to take X amount of time to charge it. And I just started looking at the equipment, and it was a 440 charger, 440 input, but it still was taking a long time to charge. It's about 1 amp every 3 to 4 minutes. So it took, maybe 30 minutes to get it back up to 90-something%, wherever the heck it was. And I started thinking to myself, if this was China, we would have probably 1,000 volts coming into this charger. We'd have better battery technology, and this thing could probably be recharged in about 5 minutes fully from almost dead. And here we are in this country doing everything we can to prevent the infrastructure improvements to get the electric cars on the road. The fast charging, 5-minute, you're done charging setup.
Yeah. Well, I think, the Chinese are going to say, we got this technology, but you won't let us sell our cars over there. So we're not going to let you have the technology. The super fast speed
right.
stuff.
And I don't blame them. I truly don't blame them.
Or if they do, they're going to charge so much, which is exactly how we keep their cars out of the market.
Right.
It's double the price. It's over 100% tariff on their vehicles.
Yep. And we do have a call.
We have Nick on the line.
Okay. Good morning, Nick. Thanks for calling CarBOB Show. What can we do for you?
Good morning, CarBOB. I got a Honda Odyssey, and about a week ago.
I'm sorry. No, I'm only kidding. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it runs fine. No, like a week ago after we had a rainstorm, I'm from Long Island, and the blinkers don't work anymore. Like, it's just the instruments on the side of the steering wheel. They all stopped working at the same time. My windshield wipers don't work unless I go down to like the second level before like it goes super high speed. And everything else in the car works fine. There's no problems. There's no lights. It's just, I looked it up online and it said there was maybe a grounding issue. I changed and checked all my fuses, and I listen to you guys every weekend, and I almost called in last weekend, but I kept tinkering around with it. But I was just listening to you guys. I'm like, maybe these guys have an idea for me.
Okay. Well, give me the wipers were working fine.
Yeah, everything was working fine. No engine lights, no weird lights or anything.
Okay.
And then one day I go to work, and basically the instruments that are attached to the wheel, they don't work the same way. My headlights work, but if I turn the car off, it doesn't show the headlights. It only shows the daytime running lights. And then neither of my blinkers work, and my first setting on my windshield wiper doesn't work. And then my pump which is attached to the same lever, my pump for my washer fluid doesn't work, and my back windshield wiper doesn't work.
And
it's just a weird cascade of issues to happen at the same time.
But are these all associated with the same lever, same switch?
It's both levers. There's two levers on either side of the wheel, and
that's probably the combination switch. Is maybe
combination switch. I haven't found that.
Well, no, that's what that's called underneath the steering column. That's what they were originally called when they first came out. They were combination switches because they incorporated the headlights, the windshield wipers, the windshield washers, and other functions. So they were called combination switches. They do fail. They do go bad. And
you think my car has one?
Well,
every car has one. I've never heard of a combination.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is, the two stalks that come out from the steering column.
Yeah,
those are attached to a switch underneath the steering wheel, and that whole assembly originally was called a combination switch because it switches a combination of
things.
Yeah, that's that.
I'm so glad I called in. I've learned so much already.
And they do fail, right, Mark? Have you seen them?
Yes.
I've seen them go. I've seen them go. And, it could be just from age. They fail.
Yeah, I mean, it's an 06. It's got 160,000 miles.
Yeah, so
everything runs.
More than likely, they will have to go in there and pull the steering wheel off. Some of them, you have to pull the steering wheel off to get to them. Some of them, you can replace parts of it without pulling off, depending on the model of the car or the manufacturer. But that's what it sounds like to me. And you're going to need a tech or somebody, if you don't want to just go out and spend the money on a switch, to troubleshoot it, such as,
that was my next question, is because I'm pretty handy with my vehicles. I do all my own repairs short of the transmission. So you think I need a tech for this?
Do you know how to use a multimeter?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, then what I would do is start with, what's not functioning. You said your headlights, what's something out there? Well,
headlights work. They don't. That's a weird one. Is that if I leave my headlights on and I turn the vehicle off, the daytime running lights stay on, but the headlights don't.
That's supposed to be. Oh, you say they stay on period with the car off.
Yeah. If I leave it on, like if I leave my headlights clicked on, because it's an 06, so it's all manual.
Yeah, it sounds like to me, it sounds like the combination switch. Mark, you have any idea?
Combination
that's
switch.
What it sounds like.
You guys are helping me a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do they call it now, Mark?
They call it a bunch of different things.
So go into some parts store and say, I need the bunch of different things switch.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping to avoid.
Some places call it multifunction.
Multifunction switch.
Some call it a combination.
Yeah.
Some still call it the turn signal switch.
But so it's behind the steering wheel, because
wherever
a lot of the advice that I was seeing was telling me to go into like the master fuse switch or like multi-control thing. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering the part.
I understand. Maybe
it's behind the fuses, and it controls all the fuses. And so like the research I did was leading me in the wrong direction. And you guys are telling me that's a controller sensor behind the steering column.
It could be, it's not even a sensor. It's just a round thing that the levers are attached to with a bunch of different contacts. And a lot of them work on frequency. Some of them work on resistance. It depends on the switch. but you have a bunch of different functions, and where that is. If I was going to do this, I would have to grab a wiring diagram, see how they work this whole thing, and then I would do voltage checks at certain components that aren't working correctly to start to see if you have voltage going to them.
Thank you.
That's
I
where
really
I would
appreciate
start.
that.
That's where I would start.
Yeah. Or
no,
Hold
you
on.
get a hold
probably
of
saved me $1,000.
Well, not yet, but
get a hold of a wiring diagram.
yeah, see if you can get a hold of a wiring diagram for that car. That would
And check-
if you know how to read it, that would help you out big time.
And check
Yeah,
to see
no,
if
I have
there's
no problem
something
reading schematics. I could probably pull that up without. I mean, it'll probably take me an hour to find a good one, but I got the manual. I can find the schematics, and I've got the tools, so it's not a problem on my end.
Right.
I just need to know what I'm looking for, because once something gets electrical, I don't want to go blind firing.
Yep. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, check, because there might be a common ground for all of those things that aren't working.
That's what I've seen is that a lot of people are saying, because it happened after a rainstorm, and that all these parts probably come to a common ground that likely shorted.
So if you've got a good service manual or have access to it, when you get into the electrical for this car, they should give you a chart, or something that will tell you where each ground is located. So you can then look at, this combination switch, or you look at the circuits that aren't working correctly and see if they all go back to the same ground.
Thank you.
Okay. And yeah, that's something I would have checked before I went after the switch. But it sounds to me that there's something interfering with the function of that switch.
Yeah, I haven't done anything yet. I've just been monitoring it. It's been about 2 weeks, and luckily my drive, I only have to make one turn, so I just throw my flashers on. But I've been trying to figure it out, because I know if I bring it to a shop, it's going to be $2,000. But if I can figure it out myself, it's probably something super simple, like they all go back to the same ground.
Right. So you got to get a wiring diagram. That's your first step for that particular car. Because I just did a Honda. We were doing.
No, of course. Yeah, the year, make, and model, all of that.
Yep.
They change every year. I understand that.
Okay. Well, good luck. And you know what? Let us know what happens.
Thank you. I'll probably call back next week if I can get it fixed. If not, give me 2 weeks.
You got it.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
WPKN, best station ever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Up next, Paul from Norwalk.
Hello, Paul. Thanks for calling the CarBOB Show. What can we do for you?
Good morning, gentlemen.
I love it.
Got a question and a comment. Question being, I saw on the Google homepage an article about the Buick Electra Orbit, supposedly a car it's a Chinese model. And instead of having a regular dashboard or the screens or everything, it's supposed to have a holographic sphere for the demonstration, for all of the gauges and information displays and such. And I wonder, is this something real, or is this just AI generated clickbait?
Good question. Dean is going to take a quick look at this now. I mean, I know they're trying to go that route. I'm seeing more and more cars with a heads-up display where the display is, projected onto your windshield or whatever, so you can see your speed and all that. I have not heard about the holographic stuff, but that would I wouldn't put it past them to do that. Would not put it past them to come up with that idea.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's in Shanghai, and maybe it's a car show model or a prototype or something, but it's like on the other side of the planet. Yeah, you can't go down to your local dealer and check it out.
Okay, I got a picture of that's a heck of a car. Oh, look at that thing. It all unfolds and everything. Yeah, that would be nice to see here, but we're not going to see it for a long time. He's broadcasting it on
YouTube.
Yeah, there's the car. Yeah, I have not heard. I wouldn't put it past them. Their technology and some of this stuff is really good. And I can't help you, Paul, but I'm going to look into this a little further. I just don't know. Know on that.
Out of curiosity, since it is supposedly a Buick Electra, which would fall under General Motors, which does have an outlet or two here in the United States, would they be able to do like an internal
No.
tech transfer?
No, that would not happen. No, GM in China is like a totally different, and the way this country is right now, they won't let that in here. Yeah, no, they're trying to get, the whole problem we're having, and somebody mentioned it a little earlier, is, they won't let the Chinese car in here just to try to keep them out, because I think they're that good. And we can't get the Chinese electric vehicles in here anyway, because we do not have the charging technology that they have in that country. They've got chargers that can do a car, and batteries now that can do fully charged in 5 minutes from 20%. But we do not have the infrastructure, the electrical infrastructure, to get that kind of power to the chargers.
Yeah, it's a third level of charging. It's the DC technology, which is different than what we have.
Yeah,
we have level 1 and 2, which is like 110 and 220, and those are the basic ones that are around. Here in America, type of thing, but they have the level 3, and that's one of the things that new BZ has, is they do have the level 3 charging.
Interesting.
And they have an onboard charger.
Onboard?
Yeah.
Oh, so all you got to do is supply the electricity to get into it. An extension cord.
Right.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. You hate to say it like this, but hopefully when this administration ends in a couple of years, we may go back to seeing some kind of progress on a whole bunch of fronts. But we're not going to see anything for a while, because it's just too crazy out there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
The comment I was going to make is, what really frosts my cake are people in parking lots who drive like they're on the interstate.
You've noticed that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, if you're trying to back out of a parking spot, they will keep coming and coming almost to the point where they hit you and then glare at you.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, and I usually am, I believe there is a law in Connecticut where if a parking lot has over X amount of cars, there is a speed limit. And I think it's either 5 or 10 miles an hour. Nobody follows it. Nobody pays attention to it. And you're right. I've seen people flying through parking lots at 30, 35 miles an hour, if not more. But I believe there is a law in Connecticut. There is a speed limit in a parking lot with X amount of car higher than, I think it's 20 cars, but I'm not 100% sure. And nobody follows it. Nobody enforces it. They don't enforce the speed limits on the highways in the streets. Although the cameras are coming out in every, they're putting speed cameras in Connecticut big time. Middletown has.
I think it's not because they intend to manage traffic, but they see it as a moneymaker.
Right. Oh, for sure. Somebody said Middletown put the cameras in a few months back, and they've already made $1 million.
Yeah. They paid for their equipment.
Exactly. And that's what this is about. It's, I can understand some of it. I don't like it. Like the license plate reader cameras, that is a great technology if it was used the way it's supposed to be used, but it's not. And it's being abused big time. Police departments are holding on to the video for months and months, if not years. And the video is supposed to be erased after 2 weeks. They're not letting people look at the video. You've got to almost get a court order, and that's supposed to be public information. So that system, it's like anything that we come up with to either be safe or whatever. Somebody's got to make money on it, and somebody's got to abuse the system.
Yeah, well, that's kind of in line with power is taking all the rights away and ignoring all the rules.
Right. Yeah. And it's sad, but it's trickling down to the automobile because it's a nice way to track everybody without people knowing it.
What's your first name?
That's the scary thing. You don't even know.
Yeah, and with AI, they make it so much they don't have to have people, a bank of people sitting there watching all the monitors.
Right. You know, that used to be the big problem. You could have 1,000 monitors, but who's watching them? Now AI can do it in a matter of milliseconds.
Well, yeah, in England they have like these huge aircraft, your vision of aircraft control for the highway.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone's sitting on multiple screens, and they can. That's like caveman technology now.
Right. So I don't know if that answers your question or helps you, Paul.
It does, yeah. So basically now being a safe, sensible, courteous driver, staying under the speed limit and not weaving in and out of traffic is now an act of rebellion.
Right. Yeah. You're the outlier. You're the outcast. You go 60 miles an hour on the highway. Everybody is giving you that wonderful hand signal because you're holding up traffic.
They're saying you're number one.
That's exactly right. And the guy that's doing 80, nobody pays attention to him anymore. 85, they just go flying by you or weave in and out of traffic or whatever it is. And these are the people that we need to go after, and they don't. So I don't know. It's all screwed up.
Yeah. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for helping make my Saturday better than it could be.
Well, you're quite welcome. We try.
Now, are you back onto an every other week schedule?
No, we are right now. We are on a weekly schedule, 8 to 10. It's difficult. It's going to be difficult. Some people can't make it at that time. I'm not sure where we're going to go with this. We are trying to do a podcast, and the goal is to basically pre-record the podcast and then put it out there in the same format as this. We're just trying to figure out how to get the people and contact the people and let them know this is what we're doing. And we're working on that, and hopefully some people will pay attention. But as I said, and we said this last week, if you go to youtube.com and go to @the CarBOB Show, we're actually streaming this right now live. Not great because it's a side shot of me because we're still working on getting all the cameras to work in the studio. But it's been waving to people and stuff that have been calling. So that's what we're trying to do to see if we can reach more people out there. And this is a work in progress, and hope it's going to take a few weeks, maybe a month before we get this all straightened out and how we're going to do it. But we'll try to keep you informed.
Sounds like a plan, sir.
You got it. All right. Well, you have a great weekend. And if we don't talk to you next week, have a great holiday.
You too, man.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay. There was something I was going to say before. Oh, two things. Go ahead.
You need to go because we have a caller. So finish your thought.
Oh, no, because it'll take longer for me to finish what I want to say about.
You won't. Will you remember though?
You're right. And that's why
write it down right now.
I'm going to write it down right now. The roundabouts.
Because I won't remember. And if I won't remember, you won't remember.
You know what happens? And you can break my chops as much as you want. It's not that my memory is going, but I think of one thought and then bang, somebody says something. Now I'm thinking of that thought because it didn't come back.
Yeah.
That's
what happens.
There's too much stuff up here.
You need to empty some data out of
there.
Yeah,
I got to what was that movie with Keanu Reeves? Keanu Reeves, when he had the chip in his head that could store, they took out part of his brain and put the chip in.
Matrix?
No, it wasn't the Matrix. It was after that. It was with Ice-T. He was in the movie. Future Society, and they downloaded a bunch of information, and he couldn't get it out without the proper code. It was a great movie. If anybody knows that one, it was a Keanu Reeves movie. It wasn't a great movie, but it was an interesting story concept.
This is Johnny Mnemonic, was it?
Johnny?
No,
it wasn't that. I got to look it up. We'll find it.
Anyway,
who's the caller?
We have Steven on the line.
Good morning, Steve. Thanks for calling the CarBOB Show. What can we do for you?
Yes, good morning. I was listening to your show, and you were talking about the Big Brother cameras on the road now?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm kind of torn between the two, right of privacy. I'm not sure if it applies because I can take a video of you driving by and it's, considered legal with my personal camera. I'm not an advocate for this, believe me, but I can see under the law how it can be interpreted. If I'm allowed to use a phone to capture you speeding, why can't the government,
Well,
I don't know if it's true or not, but here's the other point I wanted to make. Since they school started in Danbury, over 3,000 cars zoomed past school buses, stopped school buses unloading or picking up kids.
that is
since
wrong.
September.
I agree. That is not right.
That's the part where I can understand the city saying, hey, look, to protect our children, we can't be everywhere. This is how we can do it. I can see that argument, but if you take it too far, that's when the problems come.
Right.
That's such a dilemma to think about because people are not considerate anymore. People do not obey the laws, and they have this damn thing that I have in my hand while driving.
Right.
Not paying attention.
Steve, I agree with you. It's almost like anything that we come up with can be turned against us or used for, how about nefarious purposes? I don't know if that's right, but
it all started with fire.
Yeah, there you go. But I've read articles, and this is from across the country. It's not just Connecticut, where journalists, people have gone to cities, towns, and they know they've driven through them, and they want to know what they captured on their cameras. And some of the police have said, nope, you can't look at those. Private information. No, it's not. It's public information.
Right.
Or they're supposed to delete it after 2 weeks. And these police departments are holding on to it for months and months and months. So that's where I have that. I consider that kind of like an invasion of privacy. That's
what I'm saying. It's a double-edged sword. Which,
absolutely.
Thank God I don't have to judge on it.
Right. Yeah. And this is what we seem to do all the time is that we take something that's really, really good and we debase it, we ruin it and just make it not nice. And I understand. The cameras have done some good things. They've caught people that have shot or robbed a bank or whatever it is, and they've caught these people. But then, I drove through your town and I'm an out-of-stater and somebody got killed that day, and now you're coming for the out-of-stater. You just want to question me because I drove through your town and I'm an out-of-state plate. I mean, I'm just throwing that out as hypothetical, but this is what could happen. So, and even worse than that, I'm sorry, I think is facial recognition. I think the facial recognition stuff is getting way out of control because with AI and facial recognition and everything else, they know every move you're making. And I do not like that. Welcome to 1984,
And now with facial recognition, you add another problem, which is it's not that good. It makes mistakes all the time.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So go ahead, Steve.
Well, I was just going to say, in lieu of say cameras for buses, on the road, why don't they have the cameras on the bus? You know what I'm saying? So you are protecting the children, but you're not.
They do in some
they
places.
do. Oh, there's cameras on the bus.
It should be a federal law.
Right.
So it's not from state to state to state. It's a federal where if you're a manufacturer of the bus, you must have a camera, for the bus for protection of children.
And I think it will come to that, but there are buses out there that are old and would cost a fortune to retrofit, and people don't have, maybe the bus companies don't have enough profit to buy new buses. Who knows? But I agree with you. I see people fly through red light buses all the time.
Right. Well, one last point, though. Our federal government can find money for the most stupid programs.
Go ahead.
Cut off a few of those and divert that money to the safety of children.
Right.
That's all.
I agree.
Well, right now we have a political system where they're cutting down on all kinds of programs because they started out with that premise. Let's cut some programs to be able to fund the good ones.
Right.
But now it is, who's going to decide which ones are the good ones? I mean, they're chopping programs, you know, and the present people we have that are making decisions, they hired a bunch of high school and pre-college kids, you know, to make these decisions. And they're shutting down whole departments of the government and stuff like this for services that really are used to keep things functioning, you know. And they're cutting back on regulations.
Okay. I'm sorry to break
I
this
know
up.
it sounds political.
We only got about a minute left.
Okay. Well,
I'm not talking. He is.
I know, Doug. We got to cut it. We've got about 1 minute left.
Go ahead.
All right, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry we can't finish this. Give us a call next week, and we can continue on with this. That would be nice.
Well, God willing, and the government doesn't get me, I'll call next week.
You got it. You have a great weekend.
Right. You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, we had no calls.
That's what I get for oversleeping. You know.
There you go. No calls in the morning.
It's your fault, Doug.
Before 10, we're doing well now, but we are almost out of time. We've got about 1 minute left to go. I want to thank all the callers. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting this radio station. As I said, the CarBOB Show, we are working on a podcast. If you go to YouTube and do a search for @the CarBOB Show, we have 3 shows up there now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us. Hope we got some good information out. Mark, thank you. Dean, thank you. And Doug, thank you. We will see, hopefully see everyone next week. I'm not sure. This new scheduling has kind of interfered with my plans that I had made months ago. There may be a pre-recorded show. I'm not sure, but we'll some way be back next week. Thank you all for being here. And we should see you in about a week. Drive safely and watch out there. Thank you.